Okay, in this segment I'd like to talk a little bit about spotting, and spotting is pretty critical. I think a lot of divers don't realize that. Sometimes in jest I'll ask them if they would ever get in their car and drive home with their eyes shut, or ride their bicycle home with their eyes shut. First thing they'd say is, no, I wouldn't do that, but then they get up and they want to attempt to dive with their eyes shut. And diving's a pretty simple sport, especially when you open your eyes and see where you're going. So spotting is really, really important, and I think most divers, if they understand that's what it takes to spot. A lot of divers realize, will think that, gee, I didn't spot before, I've done okay, why spot now? It's very important, and once you make that decision that it is important, it doesn't take much to really learn how to spot. And again, I want to point out that spotting, we're talking about both backward and reverse, but also forward and inward. So we spot in every direction. Whether, most people I think seem to think that you spot backs and gainers, but they overlook the fact that you can spot fronts and inwards as well. So it's not that hard to spot. I think it's something you just have to begin with. If you come to the IU camp, we get the kids in and teach them to spot in the spotting belt. We also have a machine that we paid about $7,000 for. That's how important we think it is for our athletes to learn how to spot, where you can get in and pick up your spots real easily. From that, you transition onto the board, and or you can go to dry land and then move to the board over the water and learn to spot. You have to realize that spotting, a lot of it has to do with just being relaxed, because if you become anxious and your arousal level increases, what'll happen is you'll have what's called a perceptual narrowing, where your field of vision just gets real small because you're so anxious, like diving in a dark closet. So you have to stay real relaxed. If you're at home, I can remember I taught myself how to spot in practice. I started with a back somersault, I let go, and as I was going in the water, I saw the board. Then I did a back 1.5, and when I saw the board, I let go. Then I did the same thing with the double. I'd spot the board at the 1.5, hang on, let go, and as I was going in the water, I just look at the board. So it's easier, of course, to get in the belt and do the things we do at camp, but if you don't have that, you can learn that at home. Same thing on fronts. You just come around and you do a lot of front 1.5s where you see the water coming out, and then you can see the water and hold on and do a double. That's how I learned to spot on fronts. So it's those things are not too tough, but again, it starts with one thing, and that's you deciding, hey, I've got a spot. And then the other important thing of a spot is to come out. If you don't, you have to remember that I think some divers told me in the past that, I use my spot as a point of reference. Your spot is your spot. When you see that spot, it's time to really shoot the legs and come out. So you have to be aggressive in not only spotting, but reacting to that spot and coming out the right way. For fronts, it would be a matter of spotting and then piking out. And on backs and gainers, it would be a matter of spotting and doing a kick, look, reach, come out.